So there. So, a couple of weeks ago, or days ago, I don't care to check, Don't Worry Darling showed up on HBO Max. And I watched it, I think. How'd you guys like the old intro? That used to be my intro, new people. How does it work? Don't Worry Darling is that film that came out earlier this year, directed by Olivia Wilde and written by Katie Silverman. You probably heard about this film, not because of the film itself, but because of either the people in it, the drama surrounding it, or Harry Styles. This was one of my most anticipated films of the year, because cast was stacked, and I'll get into the cast a little later. The plot was fairly familiar, I'll get into that later, and it looked like a decent film. And then the clip of Harry Styles came out, and it kind of made me think that maybe this wasn't going to be that great. But I still had some hope, and then the reviews started coming out, and then it started getting trashed all over social media, it was like going down the gutter, like on Letterboxd as a 3.1, on Metacritic as a 48%, IMDb 6.2, Rotten Tomatoes 38%. It was not doing well critic-wise when it came out. However, with a budget of $35 million, it made over $80 million in the box office. So I'm gonna say it did pretty well box office-wise. However, I think it had the same effect as Morbius did, because I went into Morbius expecting it to be the worst film. I was going to be miserable throughout the entire 2 hours, almost 2 hours, like an hour 40. And I kind of enjoyed it. And I think that's because I set my expectations so low that it was better than I thought it was going to be. But that's why I think I kind of enjoyed this film, because I kind of enjoyed this film. I think it's just an oncoming effect where some films, I expect them to be good, and they're not as good. Maybe it's just my expectations. I'm setting them too high or too low. But I expect them to be good, and they're not bad, but they're just eh. A film that, like, severely disappointed me this year was The Northman. I didn't make a review on it because it's so forgettable. It was just super slow, and just, like, did not entail what I thought it did, especially with the Green Knight. I was expecting that to be super cool, and it was. It was just also super slow, but it managed to just keep, like, the specific feeling. And The Northman, I don't know, maybe just Viking epics aren't my thing, but who knows. It's Robert Eggers, and I'll talk about it later. Not in this video, but in a different video. Anyways, Don't Worry Darling, I set my expectations below. Okay, I was going into it expecting it not to be bad, but not to be good, just like that middle ground, and that's exactly where it came out to be. It actually kind of a little bit higher. Something great about it is that this film is really well shot. It takes a look at this 50s town and makes it just super gorgeous, and it kind of, for some reason, the look of, like, the super nice, sleek town with these, like, gross California mountains behind it, not gross, I guess, beautiful to some people, but it's a very big contrast, and I think it really works in this unsettling tone. It kind of looks like when you reach too far to the map in something like GTA or something. It's really cool. Florence Pugh is absolutely incredible in this film. She, like, it doesn't matter if this film, the script was bad, if you think the script is bad, she put her 100% into this film, and it pays off. Chris Pine was in it, and he was just having a blast. He was super, like, the type of guy, just really that. Olivia Wilde, I don't know her as a person. I don't want to talk about her as a person. I hadn't seen her other film, Booksmart, so I really didn't have any expectations for her work directing-wise, but she, considering it's her sophomore film, I think she did a pretty good job. Because I feel like this is kind of a Hereditary Midsommar type thing, where people loved Hereditary, and they loved Midsommar. But Midsommar just a little bit less, because Midsommar is too long. A thing with this film, it is too long. Some people, I'm not sure who they are, like Gemma Chan, Kiki Lane. I'm not sure who these people are. I'm not familiar with their work. But Nick Kroll, when he's in it, he's having a blast. He's just... No, he's not having a blast. He's making money. That's the point. Now let's get the elephant out of the room. Harry Styles. I was expecting him to be a lot worse in this film. But he's pretty chill. He's not that bad. He's not amazing, but it's like amateur. Not even amateur. There's just, considering he's not really acted in a pseudo-leading role, he does a pretty good job. Good. Okay. Yeah. Now let's talk about my biggest issue, is that this film is so boring. There is so much to this film that could just be chopped out. There's so much dialogue, there's so much character interactions that just go on for way too long. And they set up these ideas, and you want to see these ideas. And this film actually has some pretty interesting ideas, but it cares more about being creepy. This wants to be an Ari Aster movie so bad. It wants to be The Lighthouse. It wants to be Hereditary. It wants to be like an A24 horror film, and it just can't. And I think this film can classify as 2022 horror, though it's listed as what? A psychological thriller? Science fiction? Not yet. I don't want to talk about the plot twist, because I think this is one of the ones where you might like it. If you watch it, you might not like it. I thought it was just fine. Now, the plot, very Truman Show-esque. Letterboxd describes it as a 1950s housewife living with her husband in a utopian experimental community begins to worry that his glamorous company may be hiding disturbing secrets. And that is pretty much what the entire film is. So, I'm not going to spoil what the plot twist is, but you could probably guess it from the trailers. Once you get to the plot twist, I was interested to see what entailed after that. But they didn't do that. They just turned it into just stereotypical, like, for some reason they brought in, like, some action and stuff. It was super weird, but yeah, this film is super slow, and at points. Yeah, this film is something else. It's not the worst one of the year. There have been worse in the year, but there have been better in the year. And it's a super disappointing film if you were expecting a spectacle. Luckily, I went in after everyone said, don't expect something great. Just real quick, one of my biggest issues with the film is that they kind of do what Suicide Squad does, where they use so much old music, just so much like 50s, 40s jazz film in like 6 minutes. And like the first 10 minutes, we get like 6 jazz songs. It's super annoying, and it happens all the time. Harry Styles dances. Harry Styles should have had like, screw it. This should have been there should have been a musical number. Honestly, I think this probably would have worked as a musical, you know? But maybe it just needed better marketing, I don't know. But yeah, that's it. I just want to give my 2 cents on Don't Worry Darling, and I hadn't uploaded in a while. So, yeah. My rating system, I'm not even going to say it because it doesn't even apply to this. I'm going to give Don't Worry Darling a 6.5 out of 10. It is about mid-tier of the year. There have been better. There have been much, much worse. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I don't know if I'm going to be posting anything for a little bit. Once again, I said I have a big video coming out soon, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get that out because I don't really have a computer right now. I'm using my school computer. So, yeah. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay gold, everyone.